Persecution of Lagos Igbos will bring out the beast in us all. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. Please subscribe to our channel to get notified when we post hot juicy news updates. Please click on the notification bell. What caused the civil war? Igbo envy and hatred have been common historical phenomena in Nigeria. The civil war of the 60s was caused by other tribes in Nigeria becoming paranoid about the rapidly upwardly movement of the Bush tribe of the lower Niger that caught up swiftly and blazed ahead of them in every sphere of national endeavor. The British colonialists who ran Nigeria up until 1960, in their quest for merit in public service, inadvertently hoisted Igbo at the helm of affairs of the fledgling republic. The Igbos dominating the new public space by independence was purely on merit. It was not by any quota of manipulation. The existing Brits wanted competent hands to hand over the new nation and the found more capable. But this was to the chagrin of other tribes who have wrought an unwritten policy not only to stop Igbo but to annihilate them by any means possible. The first weapon to be deployed was to shun merit and wholesome competition. This led the North to develop a huge entitlement syndrome. For instance, they have continued to claim disadvantaged position in education to date for over 70 years. One then wonder how many years are required to fix something as basic as education among a people. But all they are doing is distort the merit system and hold others down. The second is to openly and blatantly deny, shunt and supersede Igbo in public service placement and promotion. They are made to do the work but sidelined when it comes to benefits. The Federal Civil Service particularly has been hell for the Igbos since after the war, and it gets worse by the day. Igbo civil servants are virtually slaves in their country and they die in silence. And third is an unspoken policy to gang up against the Igbos and put them in the margins of all national affairs at any time and by any means possible, especially politically. For instance, certain national positions and appointments have been made a taboo for the Igbos. The presidency, for instance, has rotated between the House of Fulani and Yoruba to the unconscionable exclusion of the Igbos since 1999. This is how the term marginalization came about. It has been Operation Suppress the Igbos since after the Civil War. Consider an extant example. The other reason Mr. Godwin Emefiele has been in detention for 180 days is because he bears an Igbo name, though he may claim not to be Igbo. Pastor Tunde Bakare blows the cover. Back to the present. You may not like the theology and the emotionalism of the fiery preacher Tunde Bakare, but one must acknowledge his courage and candor. In a trending video, he has not only condemned the ongoing carnage against the Igbos in Lagos, he has revealed the official plot towards them. He says in the video that he was invited to a parochial meeting to plot the economic holocaust against Igbo in Lagos. He asked them what the offense of the Igbo was, and they said Igbo had taken all the land in Lagos. Thereupon, he asked him whether the Igbo man purchased the land or he put a gun to anyone's head. Recently, social media has been awash with pictures of destruction of magnificent buildings belonging to the Igbos. Abulado on the Badagry axis is one example. Many other areas have been mentioned. Markets dominated by Igbo have been routinely shut down for days on flimsy excuses like hygiene and sanitation. But we know that local government officials collect levies for keeping markets and public places clean. Again, why is it that each time state officials extort the traders to the tune of tens of millions in order to have the markets reopened? Bola Tinubu leads Igbo persecution in Lagos. The Igbos have lived in Lagos as long as any settler group, long before amalgamation. Many are in the fifth generation. Igbo have played more role in helping to develop Lagos, perhaps more than any other ethnic group. Igbo, being outgoing and economic adventurers, are largely peace-loving people. This is captured in the Igbo wisdom. Ojemba Enwilu, meaning an ardent traveler, caught no enemies. Igbo are all over the country, indeed the world, developing their host communities and creating wealth for all. However, the advent of Tinubu's win by all means brand of politics in Lagos since 1999 is now setting the Igbos in Lagos on a collision course against some misguided Yoruba people. Since 1999, the Igbo bloc vote in Lagos has become significant to swing any election in the state. This is a political reality. In democracies where politics is played according to reason and persuasion, emerging political blocs are canvassed especially. Parties seeking their votes brandish goodies to them by way of localized candidates, appointment and promise of special infrastructure. This is what happens to American blacks and the Hispanics. Their bloc votes swing election in some states and countries, so the parties devise strategies to win their votes. You cannot win my vote by demolishing my house or hampering my businesses. You cannot chase Igbo out of Lagos. You cannot exterminate the Igbos in Lagos, Nigeria, or even from the surface of the earth. This is my quarrel with the terrible strategies like Dele Alake, Bola Onanuga, Femi Gbajabiamila, and Babatunde Fashola. They are possessed of such provincial mindset, which is the reason why Lagos has largely underperformed compared to its peers in Africa and beyond. The Tinubu political clan that seized Lagos in the last quarter century regard the state as their personal estate. They milk the cow more than they feed it, and this is why Lagos remains at the bottom of every HDI index by UN bodies, reminiscence of the indigenization perfidy. The refrain we hear among Yoruba rascals is, go to your state. Of course, they would want to wish Indibo away so that they could inherit them, but they will not support a referendum for the creation of Biafra or any Igbo sovereignty. It is reminiscent of the post-Civil War situation, during which the Indibo lost most of the assets, including houses, landed properties, businesses, stocks, insurance policies, etc. To make the defrocking of Indibo total, it was decreed that only £20 was to be paid to every Igbo man, even he had a deposit balance of millions of pounds in the bank. Though the war was over, the Igbo was down and out. It was at this time that the federal government, with Chief Obafemi Awolowo as the chief economic advisor, chose to introduce the Indigenization Act 1972. With this singular law, about 1,300 multinational corporations in Nigeria were converted to Nigerian ownership. The Igbos, stripped financially, had no dime to partake in the purchase of the blue chip shares. Yoruba therefore mopped up majority of the shares and equity and took over most of the multinational corporations set by the British, Americans, Lebanese, and other foreign nationals, UAC, UTC, the banking and the financial services, production assets, etc. This is how come Yoruba nation acquired the greatest economic assets of Nigeria after the Civil War and gained the most economic leverage in the country by sleight of hand. But sorry to know that most of these mammoth corporations have been run into the ground by the Yoruba managers who hijacked them. Graft incompetence, indolence, Soberitic laughsack, Owambe, intrigues and rigimo caused the death of these large conglomerates. Those that are still existing were rescued by former foreign owners who returned hastily to retrieve the carcasses. Cadbury and Lever Brothers are two such examples. After they hijacked and lost the foreign assets, now they eye the little businesses built on the sweat and grit of the Igbos. I can go on and on with this article, but believe you me, I did not even know that marketers are even involved in this. To me, I don't see this one. The people are saying that these people like to they cry. They know they cry for nothing. And they're not crazy to be crying for nothing. These people really, I like, it is just today I'm hearing that markets are being shut down. Some even are being pulled down. And I'm like, what? Come on now. This is definitely not democratic. This is definitely, if you are doing this thing to punish them, telling them so that they are going to submit to you, the submission will not come like this. Trust me. Alright, on this note, you've come to the end of the news. So thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.